Aaron Rodgers didn't win.
Yeah, he had some issues.
There's only one team that Baker Mayberry. He's something else.
He's something. He's going to be tremendous if he stops running from the cops. Let's see. Sharing right now to a hungry universe. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm shared.
I think I'm there.
Oh, wow.
Hello. Nice to see you.
Hello, America.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good.
All right. Ready when you are.
We're good. That's the right one. So let's see what I'm doing here. Can we have some quiet on the set?
I'm drinking my orange juice, but yes.
The Brad and Britt cast is rolling for this week, and we'd like to give you a little program note update here, because I know a lot of you live your lives by our schedule. And we'll be here with you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
That's right.
And then Thursday, you would never ever do one of these knowing that the Detroit Lions are on TV, right? You don't want to play yourself away. By the way, Trump did issue an executive order this morning saying, and you know, I know we've been fairly hard on him the last 5 years, but I agree with him. The rule, which of course is known as the Biden rule, that you're not allowed to eat Thanksgiving desserts before Thanksgiving, that's been waived. You can raid your own refrigerator. You can eat all the shit now. You don't have to wait until Thursday, because
pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, just go.
Anything you want. The pandemic has just changed everything. It really.
You really wonder if he's going to pardon the turkeys this year. He may just go ahead and slaughter them right in front of everybody. He may just go ahead and just take the knife and cut their throats.
Are you kidding? The turkeys are going to pardon him.
I see what you did there. Hey, speaking of turkeys, how about that Rudolph Giuliani? Is that wild? That's wild.
So last night, Britt, I'm not speaking to you, Britt. Pretend you're not here, and I'm just talking about you. Britt puts up a little thing on Facebook to announce to the world, for those of us who didn't pay attention or didn't know, that this idiot so-called lawyer, Sydney Greenstreet, what's her name?
Sidney Powell, I believe. Is
whatever. Sydney Powell. Sydney Greenstreet was a fine actor.
Sydney Greenstreet. God. Is it 1948 again? I had forgotten.
That she is and she has, she's a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill School of Law. And by the way, she's also born in 1955, which used to be the year that only great people were born. Steven Spielberg, Bill Gates, me.
Yeah. Was it Steve Jobs 55 or something?
Steve Jobs 55, all great people. And now we find out she's a member of the club.
She was apparently accepted to the UNC Law School, Wikipedia tells me, when she was 19 years old.
Yeah. Which,
you know, she was apparently a wonderkind of some sort.
But we don't know. The standards were different then, though. I think they were. Actually, they were probably harder. But that doesn't mean, that means nothing now.
It's nothing.
It means nothing.
No.
But so we really have this problem of generating folks out of Duke and Carolina who disgrace all of us, don't we?
It's bad. It's
Stephen
just bad.
Miller.
I think Duke still. I'm going to go with Duke. Still has the lead with Rand Paul and Stephen Miller at the moment, because Stephen Miller has been the author of a lot of the bad stuff that's come out of the Trump administration, including kids in cages and excusing Charlottesville and a lot of other shit that's going on. So yeah,
I got to tell you something. Whoever can snap that guy up after the Trump administration's one lucky company or employer,
he'll have his choice. He'll have whoever he wants to work for. I mean, that guy's going to be the board of Coca-Cola if he wants to go there.
He needs to hire a guy just to say no. Just to bat away all the offers.
It's an anti-headhunter. Please leave me alone. Let me get some sleep. I don't want to work for your company.
Right, because he embodies all of the things that corporate America has slowly but surely turned to over the years, which is understanding your customers, empathizing with them,
inclusiveness,
absolutely, all those good things,
diversity, all of the things that make corporate America,
including
great.
Just a sharp mind that you wouldn't want. By the way, I have a request, and I know this is going to fall on deaf ears. They're not going to listen to me, but we're at the week of Thanksgiving, which means on an annual basis, not only are we subjected to a full month of insufferable car commercials, Mercedes, Lexus, blah, 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 and all just over and over. All right,
here's a bow on your car, right?
Bow on your fucking, all right. Okay. I accept that, but I'm begging every network to please not do any year 2020 in review shows. Please don't bother.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
There is not. First of all, there's nothing that we want to see again that we haven't tried to forget. So there is no compelling reason to go through this again.
In lieu of a 2020 review show, just show the Mad Max Marathon. That's basically what we need to see. You can show all of the Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome, all of them. That'll be just perfectly fine. Thank you.
And since you won't listen to me and you're going to do it anyway,
right?
I just can't wait for the snarky, smart aleck. Oh, the year began with impeachment. Who remembered that? Lottie, boy, they're not all going to do that, are they?
No, it's going to happen.
No, they're not going to. That just seems like years ago.
What I wouldn't give for a good impeachment. The thing seems so. I mean, it really seems kind of quaint.
Yes, it's just so. God.
Oh my God!
have I brought you down to the floor yet?
I can't even remember. In like 2001, did they do a year-end review special in 2001? I think they've been
doing this every year forever.
I think in 2001 they went, we're not going to do it because there's only one event and we don't want to review it. So everybody, you're free. I did see where they came to an agreement with PBS to show the Charlie Brown specials. So the people who were whining and bitching and complaining about the Halloween thing not coming on, they got their way. Instead of it just being on Apple TV Plus or whatever, they're going to show the Thanksgiving special on PBS, and they're going to show the Christmas special on PBS. So God bless America. At least we got that one right in 2020, right?
Speak for yourself. I've never watched it.
So Sidney Powell, the aforementioned fantastic barrister from the University of North Carolina, BANJD, by the way, from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, America's oldest public institution. She was distanced, Brad, from the rest of the legal team in a statement on Sunday where they said, I don't know what she's doing, but she's not representing us and she's not part of the president, after forwarding several conspiracy theories, particularly in Georgia, where she said that Venezuela was funneling money to Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, and the CIA as a way to inject communism into the United States. So Rudy Giuliani and the fine legal team at Team Trump have said, she's over here and we're here doing the real work.
Yeah, of course, it's ridiculous. Like you can't have someone being your spokesman day after day, week after week, going on every show ever on Fox, day after day, hour after hour, and then suddenly we never heard of her. She's not working for us anymore. I mean, we get that part of it. This is my question, though.
Yeah,
does she still appear on Fox? Do they still have her on?
I don't know. I'm sure
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I haven't watched. I haven't looked at any things about it.
I don't know, but the president's real source is the One American News Network and Newsmax. That's where she's going to be making her apperances, Brad. That's the most important
the eyeballs are still on Fox, even if the other
absolutely.
The important thing is they does Limbaugh still say that there's the whole conservative media enterprise and the Republican Party are redefining the famous cliche circular firing squad, right?
Right.
Because they are turning on each other, and now you have more and more. It's a drip. It's not a torrent. It's not sincere. It's pathetic. More Republican politicians saying, Donald, you might want to think about conceding. They're tiptoeing towards it, and any politician who says Joe Biden is the president-elect, and they're told to go sit in the corner, but we don't care. But it's slowly getting to that point when you have some guy as rich as Steven Schwartzman, who is Donald Trump's number one. He is his number one corporate donor. He's the biggest swinging dick in Donald Trump's corporate CEO universe. He's the head of BlackRock, the big hedge fund and
right.
ETF company. They're huge. And he has said, Donald, throw in the towel. It's over. And just last week, Schwartzman was on that other side of, well, you need to have to let the legal process play. He's given that up. He said no more. Now, so then we always ask ourselves, what's it going to take?
Exactly.
Right. And then we always answer the question, nothing, because Donald Trump is a psychopath and he does not care who advises him, orders him, threatens him, cajoles him, because he is certifiably insane and he is only interested in getting 4 more years of immunity. And if that means destroying the United States of America, ripping up the Constitution, saying fuck you to rule of law, destroying whatever was left of the republic, he doesn't care. And Steve Schwartzman can have 60 billion. He doesn't care. Donald Trump is taking this ship down, but the center is holding. Every court ruling is against him, including the one in Pennsylvania that was, and here's the difference between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. The judge that told Trump's legal team or whoever was filing this lawsuit, this was on Saturday?
Right.
Or it was a Sunday that they did this in Pennsylvania.
I think it was I believe it was Saturday. It was over the weekend for certain, yeah.
Saturday. That they have no case. This is a disgrace. Get the fuck out. You got nothing. What's the Gene Wilder? Sir. What's that?
I said good day.
I said good day. Yes.
I said good day.
Right. That judge was appointed by Barack Obama. But guess what? That judge is a lifelong Republican who was a member of the Federalist Society. In other words, Barack Obama, at some point during his tenure, I think this was 2012 that this judge was appointed, had to bend and did in order to get a judge through who, at least to his liking, was good enough, but had been a member of that club, the Federalist Society, which is the group that vets all of Donald Trump's right-wing judges. In other words, since Barack Obama wasn't going to remake the judiciary with a bunch of left-wing commie judges that couldn't get through anyway, he appointed a judge that you could say on paper sounds like the kind of judge that Donald Trump might appoint, right? But paper. Clearly every person who is a member of the Federalist Society isn't by definition a complete hack, a suck up, and surely made a ruling that any fair judge right now would be making, and they're making them all across the country, not just Obama appointed judges, and that doesn't mean anything anyway in this case, but Trump appointed judges who theoretically are completely beholden to Donald Trump for everything ever, the rest of their life. Everything they ever do, they think about what would Donald Trump think, because I don't want a mean tweet. I'm out in the district in Montana and he monitors everything because he is God. He knows what I'm doing. He's in my head. He appointed me. It's not that way. The country is not that far gone yet, fortunately. And a few weeks ago, we talked about the fact that clearly the goal here is for Trump to find a judge somewhere who is that corrupt, who is that beholden to him, that may make a shocking ruling saying that they do have standing and they do have a point when they don't really have a point, that they do have evidence when they don't have evidence. One of those kind of judge. So far, there has not been one. We have not found one. And now he's down to going after local canvassing boards or state legislators to see if he can find a couple of corrupt ones. And as we speak, they're seeing if the ones in Michigan are those people. But even if they are, this is not going to win him the White House. He's not going to overturn the election. The electors are not going to pledge themselves suddenly to Donald Trump, and that woman governor is just going to sign off on it, and Michigan is going to go red. It's not going to happen. But so this is about delay. And
are you afraid that he's going to find one judge that's going to be sympathetic to him and that's going to mess up the whole thing?
Well, clearly you have to think about it, but so far there hasn't been one. And at this point now, even if there is one, it's not going to matter, because as bad a makeup as I believe the Supreme Court is, I think those are the kind of judges that are more likely to be like the one who ruled in Pennsylvania, which would be some of them will go against whatever you think is the stereotype of a judge that's appointed by Donald Trump. The same way this judge over the weekend went against the stereotype of all judges who are part of the Federalist Society. They don't all think the same way, fortunately. But the Federalist Society puts out a list and gives it to Trump of the worst of the worst. Clearly, This guy must have not been on the worst of the worst list in a figurative form, because they probably had their list of preferred judges going back 30 years.
So the center is holding, and that's good. But it seems like, again, in terms of the checks and balances that should be keeping a tyrant from doing exactly what King George is doing, some of these checks and balances are failing, but the last kind of backstop against this kind of stuff is kind of holding. So that tells you that the system and the American experiment, it looks like it's going to continue, right?
Oh, it will. We're all still going to be here.
But you've been on board with the idea that even the founding fathers could not have imagined such a horrible, idiotic, awful despot as Donald John Trump, and I agree with that. Right.
And as we come out on the other side of this, and we're closer now to the end of it than we are to the beginning of it 4 years ago, when it turns out we were all 100% right about what was about to happen. I take that back. We were only 50% right. It's twice as bad as we ever imagined it would be.
It's true.
And to everyone, you included, who said he wasn't going to go quietly, well, you get the cookies, because you don't get a box of cookies. You get a cookie factory.
All of the cookies.
Because he's just more dreadful than anyone can imagine.
I need to ask you this, because those yahoos from Michigan who actually met with him, did they have a legitimate stated reason for going to Washington? I mean, if you guys just wanted the presidential M&Ms or a couple of pins, you clamp it bastards, we could have possibly shipped those. Have they legitimately said, well, we have a legitimate reason for going to talk with Donald Trump, and it's in the best interest of blah, blah, blah? Did they even try to make something up like that?
No, when you're a Republican in the position that they're in,
Jesus,
here's what you do. And they always say this. They said this, that when the president invites you, you always say yes. Now, of course, that's not really true. That's like saying that's about as legitimate an excuse to allow yourself to be part of a pressure session or something that appears like a mafia don does, where just like everything else, it's very possible, it's very likely that Donald Trump never said these words: do whatever you can to fuck up Michigan so I can win it and I can win the election. No, he doesn't have to say those words.
No, he doesn't. Again, how many times did we see people who would refuse to meet with Barack Obama? People from sports teams, people from all they would go. We're not going. I don't have to talk to that guy. That black dude.
It's in this situation.
Yeah.
That it's a little bit more important than the winner of the Stanley Cup,
right?
Not going to the White House.
If Barack Obama would have like somehow said, "I need some people here at the White House so that we can figure out how to steal an election."
Oh, but the signal that's sent, unmistakably is, yes, me and my cohort, these top Republican legislators in the state of Michigan, we are more than willing to at least hear and give the appearance that we are on the side of you destroying the United States of America's constitutional framework of free and fair elections, which have not been fair. They have not been free in a perfect sense ever, but they've gotten more free and they've gotten fair because of the blood and sweat and tears of great people who've died for the right to vote. And you just decided to piss it away on behalf of Donald Trump. And so it's just the fact that you went to the meeting, and then we're seen that night at his stupid ass hotel drinking
their
and then because this is the gaslight. The gaslight is they go back to Michigan and say, well, nothing, they didn't change it. He didn't change our mind. He didn't say anything. It's the same game. You're supposed to not believe what you see. You're supposed to not believe what you know is true, because they're going to tell you that what you saw and believe can't possibly be true. And that's a dictatorship. That's an autocratic society. That's someone ruled by someone with an iron fist who will deny reality and lie. And if you challenge that lie, you are on a shit list and could end up in Siberia somewhere. That's what Donald Trump has been doing. And of course they should have said, thank you for the invitation.
It's inappropriate.
Under these circumstances, we don't think it would be appropriate. But how about this? Let's do a public Zoom call. Why don't you tell us what you want to tell us and let the whole world hear it? Okay, because there can't be anything private about this. There were 100 ways that they could have won this, but they don't want to win it because, remember, the Republican Party is all about, this is the greatest voter suppression move of all time. When you say, well, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta are corrupt Democrat-run cities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's not even hidden code for. That's where lots of black people vote, and we're going to try to throw out black people's votes. That's all that they're doing, and that's what they've been doing. But this would be the latest example of, I'm Donald Trump, I'm corrupt, I'm going to break the law, I'm going to be inappropriate, I'm going to lie, I dare you to stop me.
Yeah.
And we've had 4 years of this, and because he's got a Republican Party, or whatever is left of the Republican Party, made up of people led by Mitch McConnell, who, you know what, his picture really is going to be right next to Joe McCarthy in the history books. It ought to be there. It ought to be there right now. He's that bad.
Yeah.
He's that cynical. And if you don't believe in prayer, get on board. If you believe in prayer, go for it here and just pray that this is going to be backfiring so badly in the state of Georgia in the election in January, that they think they're cute by half here. That this is supposedly motivating Republican voters, white Republican voters, to show up in big numbers for these two. I don't think so. Because as Donald Trump has to face the music and the walls close in and the the paint in the corner makes it smaller and smaller, and he has to lose. They can't get out there and say you have to get out there and vote in January to check the power of Joe Biden, who, by the way, we don't even believe is the legitimately elected president.
Right.
So why do I have to go out if I'm a Republican voter to defend a political party that doesn't even believe that the person I need to vote for on my side is going to win in order to defend against a guy who isn't acknowledged as the winner of that election, which you are still complaining about? You know, I don't think confusion helps Republicans in Georgia the next 6-7 weeks. Do you?
No, I don't think it does. I'm kind of disappointed that the Democrats haven't been as like a full court press on there. But I know these people know what they're doing, and after Thanksgiving, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people like Kamala Harris and hopefully Barack Obama and Michelle Obama headed to Georgia and doing a lot of campaigning. But I have to, again. Yeah, I agree with you about Georgia in general. I mean, I've seen some guys down there. I saw Marco Rubio campaigning for those guys.
Stop you right there. Would it not be better to have and I'm putting this in the biggest air quotes ever, outsiders coming into Georgia to tell them how to vote?
No, because the outsiders helped us get to the runoff, so I don't even buy that anymore. The idea that you outside people leave us alone, I think that's old politics in Georgia. I think that's the way it used to be. That's old good old white boy politics. I think it's going to be perfectly fine to have Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the whole hee-haw gang coming down to Georgia and campaigning to get these seats as hard as they can, because there's too much on the line. I mean, this is going to be putting Mitch McConnell in the minority, getting the judges in place. They're going to continue to do the bullshit judges forever. Getting a relief package passed, all of those things hinge on these two seats, and it's going to be huge. So no, I don't. This outside stuff about you need to, every tool that you have in that toolbox, you need to throw at this election. If you've got anything at all that you can do, you need to go ahead and get that done. What do we think of this Carl Bernstein report? Have you seen this?
Oh, where he just names the 21 Republicans.
These are 21 Republicans who have expressed extreme contempt for Trump and his fitness to be president.
Of course they have.
Some of these are. There's no.
You can read the story in a second here, but before you read it, I'll just ask this question: have any of the people that you're about to name, who are on Carl Bernstein's list, have they said no? I really like Donald Trump. Go ahead, read the story.
This is in tweets that he puts. Now, these are 21 senators. The ones that won't surprise you are Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse, right? That's no big deal. We're not terribly surprised that Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski are also on that list, are we? Right?
These are Republican senators who have said they hate Trump.
They expressed disdain for.
I think his list is too short. I think everybody hates Trump. Everybody hates Trump. No one really likes him.
We would have thought Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski would have been on that list. We did not think that maybe John Cornyn might be on there. The senior senator from North Carolina, Richard Burr, is also on this list. Chuck Grassley probably could have figured that one out. Marco Rubio might have been able to figure that one out. Rick Scott from Florida, who recently tested positive, is on the list. Tim Scott from the great state of South Carolina is on the list. Senator Young, Senator Braun, McSally from Arizona, who has been off the charts crazy right-wing wacko, Lamar Alexander, Rob Portman, Shelby, Roberts, Moran, Thune. These are all people who have expressed contempt and fitness and questions about the fitness of Donald Trump to be president of the United States.
Those are the ones that are on the list.
That's right.
They all believe it. They will all go running for the hills. There will be no books written about my great experience with Donald Trump.
Although there are some people who have,
it's not going to happen.
There are some people who have denied it, Brad. Mediaite reports a number of the Republican senators have decided that they're going to be in favor. Senator Braun of Indiana said he is standing with Trump. This is more false news from a CNN political analyst.
Wait. Remember, think of the linguistic gymnastics there.
Yep.
He hates Trump, but he's standing with him. That's all of them. That's what they've all been doing. That's why they all, except for Mitt Romney, voted to not convict him in the impeachment. They all hate him. Let's just say that let's say that Bernstein is wrong by 50%, and it's only 10. 10 would have convicted Donald Trump and sent him home. So they're all liars.
This is
and it's a fun list, but it doesn't mean anything.
Mike Braun, this is more false news, and he's not using the term fake news. So apparently he's not as with the president as we thought. From a CNN political analyst, that I was one of the president's top defenders during impeachment and strongly support his legal efforts to ensure that every legal vote is counted. So he's holding on to that bullshit. That is the linguistics of it all.
Remember the phrase "every legal vote" is also a racist trope.
It's also bullshit. I mean, it just doesn't mean anything.
It's also bullshit, right? It's like, you know what? I'm for sunshine 7 days a week.
What does it mean? I legally filled up my car with gasoline today. It was crazy. Senator Chuck Grassley, Senator Rob Portman, Senator Rick Scott likewise professed allegiance to the president in statements from spokespeople given to the Washington Examiner. Nobody said that you didn't have allegiance to him. That's not the story.
Bernstein's right. My favorite one is when Carl Bernstein says something, some asshole go, he's been living off that Watergate story forever. Like, first of all, they denigrate the fact that he was part of the two best reporting jobs by him and Woodward, in the last 100 years in the United States. Like that's just yesterday's news. That's all gone. And number two, if he really had never done anything after that, he'd still be a legendary reporter. All right.
Yeah, he sure would.
Neither he nor Woodward have rested on those laurels, and they've both been very productive.
I got to be honest
45 years, they have.
That Mary Lou Retton, she's just coasting off the laurels of that gold medal. She really hasn't done anything since then.
Well, I'd say that's a little bit more accurate than these guys.
I have to say, what was the big deal about all of that? That Charles Lindbergh, he coasted for the laurels of it.
No, you know what the best sports version of that is? It's Joe Namath. He had one great game. He had a great career. He really did.
He really did.
He's thrown, I think he's in the top 20 for most yards and the rest of that. But it was the one game that made him. And now he's the spokesman for one of the Medicare Advantage commercials over and over. Now, you know what? I love to do this numerical thing. All right. So Namath won the Super Bowl 51 years ago in 1969, 51 years ago. So 51 years after his greatest moment, he's doing Medicare Advantage commercials. So try to think of somebody who's in their early mid-20s right now, who's at the Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is he, 25?
Something
24,
like that.
25. So 50 years from now,
Jesus Christ,
you and I will be long gone.
I hope so.
I hope so. And he could be doing Medicare. Well, that's if Joe Biden doesn't destroy the program, which the President Trump said he would if he got in there. Because
that's exactly what's going to happen.
Close it down. But assuming it's still in business, that's a long time.
Meanwhile, thanks to the tremendous leadership of Donald John Trump, the drug maker AstraZeneca announcing today that an early analysis of some of its late-stage clinical trials conducted in the UK and Brazil showed that its coronavirus vaccine, Brad, was 70.4% effective in preventing COVID-19, suggesting that the world would eventually have at least three working vaccines and more supply to help curb the pandemic.
May I just interject the idea that, number one, for all the anti-vaxxers, the anti-science people, we don't believe in experts, we don't believe in eggheads, we just believe in Donald Trump's gut opinion for everything. This was the triumph of science. This was the triumph of Charles Darwin, okay, over some Sunday preacher. thinking that we could pray away the pandemic here. And in the case of AstraZeneca, even more than Pfizer and Moderna. As you read that, you noted that this was Oxford University, and this was just the British government. Who are the two?
Brazil was also where they tested the thing.
So I'm just guessing here that Brazil and Oxford University weren't exactly listening to Donald Trump when it came time, nor were they getting money from the United States federal government. And by the way, neither was Pfizer and Moderna. And this was private enterprise that did this. So for Trump to be taking credit for it, it's just absurd.
But he will forever, and he will be allowed to take credit. And those idiots on Fox who they're going to continue.
Geraldo that said it should be called Trump.
The Trump, it should be called the Trump vaccine. Well, it should be called the Trump virus. It should be called the China virus. That's for sure.
No.
I tested positive with Trump 19. Ugh. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna have some vaccines sooner rather than later. However, we continue to get ravaged. You know that where we live in Greensboro, they have had some new regulations as far as businesses, because the mayor putting out a statement saying the number of cases has gone up exponentially in local hospitals, which were stretched thin anyway. So North Carolina, along with any other place you can think of in the United States, is being ravaged by COVID-19, and people are dying at record rates, and the infection rates are huge. And yet, Brad, you've seen the reports that the airports are packed as people are trying to fly hither, thither, and yon, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go.
I guess the Scott Atlas view of things is winning out. People are determined to pick this up, and you may have people telling you this. I've got people. I have a friend of mine, very well educated, not just a college degree, but a very advanced degree, a very technical degree, very, very well educated, two people. And they're getting in their car and they're driving down to the Atlanta area. They just had their first grandchild, and they're getting together with 7 people. And I said, so what? And they said the most, and these are people who should know better. In fact, they have MDs after their names.
Oh, Lord God.
And they just said, well, everybody's been tested. Everybody.
It doesn't mean anything.
How many times do we have to go through this? It
doesn't mean anything.
Matter if you've been you're getting in a car, you're going to be driving from Greensboro to Atlanta, you're going to be stopping at the Speedway gas station, you're going to you could pick it up between whatever number of days ago you had a goddamn test and now, and it's as if we just can't stop ourselves. We, not you, not me, but people think that having Thanksgiving dinner is the be all and end all of being an American, and anything less than that, delayed gratification, is a death sentence. And I'm not going to subject myself to a death sentence, so I'm going to go have Thanksgiving. I may subject someone else to a death sentence, and we'll find out. But it's just shocking. It doesn't matter how smart or dumb you are. People have virus fatigue, and God damn it, we're just going to go out and risk our lives.
This is what we got.
I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
These are the statistics that the mayor has put out in Greensboro. And I would say this is the sort of thing that's happening across America. 2 months ago, average of 39 people in the Cone Hospital system. A month ago, it was 81. Today, it's 142. So it's more than 3, almost 4 times as many as it was just 2 months ago. With 27 of those people are actually in intensive care.
And by Christmas, about a month from now, that number could double. And they don't have room for double.
And you remember hearing the stories in August and in July and August about how, well, we're stretched thin and we don't have enough beds. We don't have this, that. And now it's much, much worse than that. It's multiple times worse than that. I mean, it's just stunning.
I think the people who are running these enterprises are geniuses for being able to do what they're doing right now.
Oh my
To
God.
being able to stretch the resources right now.
But all of that comes back to where the rubber meets the road. That's your frontline workers. And we, at least a couple of months ago, were saying how much we love the frontline workers. You're basically saying when you go to Thanksgiving dinner with 7 or 9 or 10 or 20 people, fuck you. That's what you're saying to the frontline workers, to the nurses, and to all of the attendants of the hospital. You're basically saying, fuck you. I mean, I love you, but I hate you. That's essentially what you're saying when you have these gatherings. You don't give a shit about those people. This is some of the other statistics.
If you don't see them, we don't really we don't see inside the hospital, and we don't see people who we don't know who are dying.
That's right.
And that's a terrible combination. I mean, there's a reason. Compare the reaction of the basic American psyche to this versus 9/11. Well, 9/11, the most vivid, horrendous video of all time. A vivid, horrendous video so bad that it's never shown anymore.
Right.
Of the planes flying into the buildings and dead people all over the ground and them scooping up remains for months afterwards. And we can relate to that. We can relate to George W. Bush standing on the pile of rubble, which meant he was probably standing on dead bodies,
possibly
saying what he did. And there's no moment like that with this. This is just slow motion horror. And because of the lack of leadership at the top, don't you like the way politicians say that? They never want to say, well, Donald Trump's a fucking asshole. They just, well, because of bad leadership. Right. You like that euphemism that they use? But because Trump is so bad and such a horrible president and such a humanoid, I don't know how else to describe him. And think back of every president in your life, not one of them would have acted the way Trump has. Not one of them would have responded the way that he has. And the last 2 weeks, where the numbers have accelerated all around the country, where they've gone parabolic, where we had more than 1 million new cases just in the last 6 days. Okay, so this is, if it's 1 million new cases in the last 6 days, it's going to be the next 1 million cases in 5 days, 4 days. That would be 250,000 a day for 4 days in a row. Anybody think we're not going to get there at the rate we're going? Anybody think that the seeds aren't being planted right now this Thanksgiving week, so that 3-4 weeks from now, when
it's going to be disastrous. It's going to be disastrous, along with just the regular people staying inside in the cold weather and all that stuff. Sure.
But for him to be out playing golf, the ultimate fuck you. I believe this was trip number 298, 299 to the golf course since he's been president. And he's been president for 1,400 days. So almost 1/4 of his days have been spent on the golf course. That's probably more than Obama, Bush, Eisenhower, and Nixon put together. They were the 4 biggest golf guys I can remember as president. For him to be golfing, it's the all-time, I've checked out, I'm done with this job, I'll see you later.
But then he put out the tweet about G20 later on, like he'd actually been paying attention to it. The media is not reporting that COVID's a bad thing all over the world. They're just saying it's bad here. And I was at G20 talking about, fuck you. You were picking out a 9-iron. Shut up. We know exactly what you were doing.
Well, he's determined to lie all the way to the very end. You have to give him credit for that.
Yeah, he's not going to stop. That's for sure.
He's not going to stop here because he must be getting close to 27,000 lies documented since he's been in office. So
maybe
no reason to give that up now. So here he is ignoring the problem that he helped create or didn't attend to. And at the very end, he's going limp. He's going loser. He's going.
That's exactly right.
I got nothing. I mean, I don't want to compare to you or to me or to anybody, but I've always thought when I've been in jobs where I've known there was going to be an end point, I was going to get fired. I tried to make it a thing that we would never let up. For instance, when we knew we were getting canned in Charlotte a couple of years ago,
right?
We never let up. We did good show. Yeah, we did radio.
We got bonuses. We bonus.
We got bonused, and that's what you do. You want to go out, doing some of your best work. You don't want to go out doing your worst work and just showing up and sitting there doing nothing. And this is what a loser this guy really, really is. And I don't give any credence to any Republicans who are coming out at this moment,
right, when
they've been named by Carl Bernstein, because we've been saying for all these years, when the stories would run, that a lot of Republicans really disagree with what Trump did, but they want to stay off the record. They don't want to be the subject of a mean tweet or have a Republican primary opponent named by Donald Trump to primary them in the upcoming election. So they oppose him, but they're afraid to say something. So we've always said, God damn it, fuck you. Name these people. Stop with the confidential bullshit with reporters. Stop it, reporters. So Carl Bernstein, who else? The Watergate guy says, hey, Trump is already leaving office. I'm not going to keep this is bullshit confidence stuff. And he names them. And what do? They double down.
That's exactly right.
Carl Bernstein is the problem. Carl Bernstein, jerk. Yes.
That's what we got for today, everybody. Be thankful, wash your hands, stay inside, wear the mask.